Welcome back to the Happy Hippie Podcast. I am Amanda McCormack. I am the host of this show. This podcast basically aims to explore all the areas in life that contribute to bringing us greater happiness. We take different deep dives into wellness topics. We talk about different products, different methods. We go into mindsets, all about things that are going to help you feel better mentally, physically, and spiritually. I believe that happiness is a journey and that this podcast can help you navigate that journey. I hope that you leave this podcast with some tools, methods, and maybe some new ideas that are going to make your life a little bit happier. So this is a bit of a mini episode. I'm hoping this episode is like 12 to 15 minutes, like no longer. I had a thought in my notes and I just figured I would just do an episode on just this topic, but not make it too in-depth, just kind of freeball off the note idea that I had. And if you like this style, please let me know because I would love to make some more mini episodes like this. So this is just going to be like one thing that your brain can digest. You know, if you're listening to this on your commute or while you're doing something else, like you'll have time to just comprehend this idea and we don't have to go into like 5 different ways or going in depth on a topic. Like 10 minutes just to kind of poke your brain about something. And then I'm going to give you a little bit of like an exercise and some tangible ways that you can try this and see how it improves your life. So again, let me know if you like the format. Let me know if you like this topic. Reach out to me on Instagram at HappyHolisticHippie, and I can't wait to hear from you. I'm currently recording this episode. When you hear this, it's going to be a week later. So I leave for Greece tomorrow. I'm so excited. Greece is where I got my yoga teacher training, and I just love that area. I just feel very connected to it. I'm going on a bit of like a yoga and embodiment journey while I'm over there, and one of my good friends, Katrina, shout out Katrina, who I actually met in Hawaii when I was working there, is coming as well. So I'm so excited to see her. I have not seen her since May, I think, like early May. So this is going to be very fun. We both have the same sun and moon. We're both Leo suns and Pisces moons. And we have a different rising sign, but we're very and she's like the funniest person I ever met. So I'm really excited to like rekindle and go on this journey with her. And there's also some other people I'm very excited to meet as well, because it's like this nice yoga community. I'm just really excited to go. I was thinking about skipping the week of the podcast, but then I was like, you know what, like let's put the effort in to get something up so that we can stay consistent with it. You know, I feel like I've been in a good flow and I didn't want to like stop that. With that being said, I'm recording the past 2 days, I'm recording a few episodes and some meditations, and I didn't want to rush it because in my head I was like, if I'm going to be doing like 4 or 5 recordings, I don't want to rush them, but I want to make the information shorter so I'm able to get it out, but also still put my full heart into it and not like put something out there that's not, you know, like aligned with me. So I figured just sticking with one topic and doing like a bit of a mini episode for this week and maybe next week as well might be the best way to do that, because I can fully go in, I can fully talk about the topic in entirety, but also get you out of here in 15 minutes. So I feel like it's a win-win. I might do a travel episode when I come back, talking a little bit about, because I got some interest on Instagram about my supplements and like what I take when I travel and just different things like that, like my packing, my routines and all that jazz. And I think I finally nailed it. I'm actually taking a carry-on this trip and I will get everything in it. I'm pretty good at it at this point. Like I feel like I should just do like a whole video or something on it, because like I have a lot of travel hacks at this point. So if travel is a topic you're interested in, please let me know again on my Instagram. But I just wanted to give you a quick little life update. Let's get into the actual episode. This episode has to do with your higher self, how to actually embody your higher self, how to make changes that align with what you want in life, and how to almost create your dream life with just one little process that you can do every morning. So the term higher self sometimes can be, you can like plug in, you know, like the same thing when people say the universe. Like if you prefer to say God or something else, you can totally like plug in and like drag out the word. But basically higher self is the version of you that you want to be. Not that it's an unattainable thing, because sometimes I feel higher self I like to use at the moment because it's like my goal self, but it's also me. I'm already getting a little too philosophically weird in the first 5 minutes of this, but you know, what I'm trying to get across is instead of being like my dream self sounds like something that's unattainable to me. It sounds like something that's in my head. Or when you say my future self, that could also be the same thing we're talking about. I used to say future self for the longest time, but then I noticed that like whenever I would say future self, it kind of came from a place of lack. Like in the future, I'm going to be this person. And right now there's a really big disconnect between where I am now and that person. And I felt like using that term and working with that term and working in that way would almost reinforce the idea that I'm so far away, like reaching my arm, like my future self. So higher self, I kind of liked, because yes, it kind of still has like that stepping stone thing, like higher self, but it just made me feel like it's a version of myself at my best. You could even say like my best self. So try to find a word that maybe works for you. But the gist of it is your future self, but I kind of like to use the word higher self at the moment because I feel like it just makes it a lot more attainable and I feel better and I can almost embody it so much more when I say the term higher self. When it comes to the word manifesting and when it comes to just like setting goals and who you want to be in life, I feel like we always create that big disconnect, and by bringing it down to a smaller level, it can definitely make it more attainable. So by kind of telling your mind that your future self or that your higher self is kind of a part of you, it's just a part of you that maybe by changing your actions or by doing something different or just believing in yourself a little bit more or changing your mindset, you can kind of just like morph into this version. Like you already have this version in you, but you just need to either like clear the dust away, and the dust can be some of your habits. It could be some of the things that you're avoiding or you're afraid of. And once you dust it away, then that version is revealed, or you know, something along that line. That's kind of the analogy I want to rock with today. The gist of this episode is refreshing your mind about the idea of your higher self will pretty much always help you make actions and make actionable change. I find that when it comes to manifesting, people have a bit of a resistance to it, or the idea of it is a little bit more woo-woo because it just seems so unattainable. And by kind of changing the vocabulary and changing the way that you look at it, you can make it so much more attainable. Because manifesting, you think, oh, this is something in the future I want to be, or this is something I want. I don't have it right now, but yeah. And then it's just, you're in a box, and then that thing is in a box, but it's like far away from you. But by reframing it, you can actually start to see the trail that leads to that thing. I feel like what I've been saying has been very vague, and now it's starting to like tunnel into like making more sense. So not apologies, but it's going this way for a reason. I came up with this concept, not came up with it, but I basically started to become aware of it through some meditations that I was doing. And I was doing these meditations every day. And I started to really understand why they were formatted this way, because I was seeing results and I was noticing that in this meditation, and one of the ones that I use all the time, I will link it on my story. I'll link it below as well, because I know there is a Spotify upload of it. It's a Joe Dispenza meditation. In your self-belief or your confidence or your actual belief about this idea. So that's one benefit about visualization that is really important and why we should do it. to be something unfamiliar, because I'm assuming most of the goals we have are unfamiliar, we have to start doing things that are going to lead us to the unfamiliar self and coming out of that comfort zone and putting to rest some of the things that the familiar self is doing. Remember that the day that you plant the seed is not going to be the day that you sow the fruit. I think it's fruit. I don't remember. It could be any vegetable too. But by planting the seed, you're going to have growth. Do this daily, I promise. Do it a few times a week. You will see results. You'll see a shift in your mindset and your behavior. You'll actually get things done. It's crazy. Remember, by consistently visualizing, aligning your attitudes, aligning your beliefs, taking that inspired action, you can gradually align your daily life with the version of yourself that you aspire to be. Okay, I need to go. I have to start packing, but I wanted to get that thought out to you. I wanted to get that quick 3-step process out. Follow up with me on Instagram. My Instagram is at HappyHolisticHippie. Send me a message, tag me in your stories if you listen, and I hope you got something out of it today. I'll see you guys soon.